Hello all, this is AJ. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome to another episode of my comic book corner. Just taking a look at the pickups that I've got over the past week. I've been down to my comic shop today, picked up what they had for me, so let's take a look. There's not too much this week. Okay, first comic here. It's a variant cover, and this should have come last week, but it didn't, and it is for Vampirella Strikes issue 5. I did show another cover for this last week when I went. Just this one hadn't arrived yet. It was somewhat delayed. Yeah, so I do enjoy Vampirella as a comic book character. I say a comic character that's been around since the 1960s. There was a film of it, starring Talisa Soto in the early 90s to mid-90s. Very cheap film, Roger Corman produced. Talisa Soto had starred in License to Kill and Mortal Kombat. But she played the character. Not the best casting for it. She didn't exactly fill the outfit, shall we say. They could have gone with someone far aesthetically well, resembled a bit more the character, shall we say. But there we go. Anyway, so there's that one. Now, next up we have issue 2 of Star Trek Lower Decks. Now, I don't normally read Star Trek comics. I've read a few, but I don't often consume science fiction in comic book form. I find it hard to read, basically, as a comic. I love it on screen, but not in this sort of presented to me like this. That being said, I am reading this as issue 2 from IDW Comics because it's fun and it's done in the vein of the TV series, so it's comedic. It's got the same sort of art as what the TV show offers you. So that comedic tone makes reading it that somewhat easier than if I was reading a straight Star Trek book. Yeah, and this is good. But also, when you get to the back of this, it's got adverts in it that are all sort of related to Star Trek. Like there, Experience Dracula's Castle program now running in the holodeck. Badgie explains it all on that page. File repair complete, a little bit there. It's got all this other stuff in it that's Star Trek related. Yeah, join us for the finale, and then you've got normal adverts. So it's quite a good, enjoyable read. I like the first issue anyway. I was just looking at that back, what that is about. I don't know. But there we go. And then we have another Vampirella. This is issue 2 of Vampirella Mind Warp. I haven't read issue 1 yet. I generally wait, because this will be a mini-series, so I generally wait until I get the whole lot for all 5 of them or 6 of them, however it may be, and then read them like that, all in one hit. Which is just, you get more enjoyment out of that, because there's so many Vampirella comics, and there's quite a few that it's easier to keep up with them in that sense, so you don't confuse between titles. Vampirella versus Red Sonja come in there. So yeah. Only the one cover for that one I got. Now this next one, I've actually got 3 covers for the same comic. Variant covers. Variant covers can be fun, it can be annoying. That being said, we've just had an announcement that Xavi are doing 2 steelbooks for Halloween Ends, kind of variant steelbooks. Both have Xavi exclusive, sorry, and the fact that this is now spilling into this world of DVD and steelbooks and that sort of thing isn't good. It isn't good, believe you me. So anyway, so here we have cover 1 for Punisher War Journal Brother. Cover, well, that was a variant cover. That's another variant cover there, and this here is the main cover, cover A. Yes, now the Punisher. My favourite comic character, Punisher, my favourite comic character, but I really don't want to call this comic the Punisher. This isn't the Punisher. This isn't Frank Castle. This is some attempt by Disney to take guns out of the hands of the Punisher and turn him into something that he isn't. And not only in the look, but in the writing for the comic as well. There's stuff in this that this character does, this abomination of Frank Castle that, you know, this is me just flicking through this issue, I haven't read it, that Frank Castle as an individual wouldn't do. He wouldn't do the stuff that this Frank Castle does. And it bugs me, it grates on me. And I'm sorry to say that if, you know, I never thought I would say these words. I really didn't, but I got to wonder whether if the Punisher continues down this path, if this is the path that Disney has for him, then am I going to continue? As you can see, it's still quite violent. He's slicing people up with swords. But the guns are only in the hands of the bad guys. The good guy, as a Punisher, well, he's an anti-hero. He's a, you know, walks that grey line. But the good guy, the Punisher here, cannot have a gun. He's not allowed to have a gun. And this also makes me wonder about the future of the Punisher on screen as well with Disney. You know, I know there were some rumours of him being in Armour Wars, in one of the suits, in the Punisher battle suit, which is the War Machine suit when Punisher got hold of it. If he does that, I can see them doing that. I can see them making that a thing, because it takes the Punisher, the guns out of his hands. Yes, he's using guns, but you know, the concept of the Iron Man suit or the War Machine suit is so fantastical anyway that you can get away with it. But in here, like you see Jigsaw there with a gun, he's using a gun, shoots someone, but Frank Castle, no. But this is what I'm talking about. There's scenes here where he's got a guy who's a bad guy, but he tapes him up to a machine gun and basically uses him as the front for when the enemies come in. Okay, it's a bad guy, but Frank Castle wouldn't torture people. He wouldn't torture people to that extent. He does things in this, like, literally tortures people. And it just leaves a bad taste in my mouth for that character. He would kill them, yeah, of course he would, but he wouldn't do the things that he does in there. Jesus Christ. We're living in bad, bad times. Anyway, next up is issue 7 of Ghost Rider. As you see, like, nicely painted cover there. Looks a bit... Is that Mark Texiera who's done that cover? No, it isn't. It's in the style of Mark Texiera, painted in a similar sort of way that he would have done. But yeah, so Ghost Rider. Again, a character that I enjoy reading, but, you know, he doesn't really work as well in film. I'd love to see, you know, although they've done quite well in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. for him. I will say that much. Yeah. What can I say? Yeah. Ghost Rider. And then we have here issue 4 of the new series of Daredevil, with Elektra Daredevil as well. Daredevil's a comic I sort of go to, and then I do read, I don't read, I do read, I don't read, depending on the creative team on it and where they're taking the character at the time. When they put him in the sort of superhero world, the colourful elements of superhero world, I don't really read it. But when they take it to a sort of darker, grittier aesthetic and writing like it is at the moment, then I can handle it more so. I prefer the sort of more grounded, street level storytelling than the sort of stuff that, you know, the sort of far out there superhero, for some characters anyway. Not for them all, but certainly for some characters. Yeah. And then we have here, I got this special edition, one-off I believe it is, of, oh no, it carries on, of Black Adam, with the sort of rock version of Black Adam on the cover, like so. Very good. Nicely painted cover. There's a poster on the back for the film. There's an advert inside for Stargirl. 3rd season. I think, is that the last season? It might very well be. But yeah, so this comic here, obviously, as you know, we've got the Black Adam film coming out at us in a week's time, 21st, next Friday. I picked up a Black Adam related one last week. And then I've picked up this one now. So you got Prelude comics coming. And obviously I did pick up one of those last week. So yeah, now, interesting is that I'm not overly excited for the film, which is probably a good thing, because I go in with lower expectations, but I'm not excited for it. I'm not like, yeah, really like, wow, I really must see this film. I'll see it when I see it. And then last but not least, issue 334 of the ongoing Spawn comic from Todd McFarlane. Now, anyone who's been watching the channel knows that I'm on a sort of Spawn kick at the moment. This one of the cheapest comics out there. It really is. Comics are very expensive now. It's a very, very expensive hobby to be partaking in, and yeah, you got to. I don't buy as much as what I used to. I do try cutting down. I must. It's just, it is unfathomably expensive. But Spawn's one that I ain't reading these at the moment, because I'm reading my compendiums, and these will sort of carry on from the compendiums when I get all of those. I've got a 4th one coming out in December, early December, and they contain 50 issues per compendium. They're very thick like that. 50 Spawn issues in it, and they cost about 45 quid, so they're quite expensive. But when you consider you're getting 50 comics in there that individually would cost something like that, you can see that they're worth, you know, they're far worth investing in them and getting them that way than going back and hunting down the comics. But yeah, so that's it for my comic book pickups. That was it for the week. No figures or anything this week when I went down there anyway. But yeah, so that was everything. Let me know your thoughts down below. Do you read comics? Do you not read comics? Are you not interested? Do any of these interest you? Have you ever read comics? Let me know down below. Are you looking forward to Black Adam? Anything? Any thoughts that any of these comics kick off in your head, whether it's comic related or film related? Leave a comment and I'll reply. We can talk about it. This is AJ. Thanks for watching. I'll see you on the next one. Take care all. Goodbye.